You're watching Fox 13 News at 9.
As the weather warms up, Utahns will spend more time at the pool. But tragically, every year we hear of small children who drown in backyard pools and other bodies of water. And it doesn't have to happen. There is a way to teach the smallest and youngest of children a way back to the surface. The scenario is typical. A pool unattended. A door left ajar. A little one all alone. Between 2003 and 2005, 35 children drowned in Utah. 19 of them were younger than 5 years old. If this was your child, how would this scene end? Well, it turns out 11-month-old Miles of San Diego, California, was taught how to get himself back to the surface and stay there, face up.
The highest drowning rate is for children under 4. It's higher than car accidents, and people don't realize it.
Liz Walker founded Swimkids in Holiday and has made it her life's mission to teach the very youngest how to save themselves in the water.
We work one-on-one with the child, and so we can get them past those hurdles that they might not otherwise get.
With children as young as 6 months old, Liz is able to help them feel at ease while building a healthy respect for the water. Do they intuitively know not to breathe underwater?
Initially, you have to teach them. I'm watching, I'm counting their breathing, and I'm making sure that they're okay under there.
Parental involvement is critical, and some days are better than others.
Today was a rough day. She cried a lot. I woke her up from a nap.
If you have the parents on your side and they have a commitment for the child to learn, then you take it one step at a time.
And those are baby steps.
Start with the chin, and then the lips, and then the forehead, and you miss the parts in between that are the tough ones, and then you come back to those. It's through practice and experience. I mean, you can't hold their breath for them. They've got to practice it on their own.
At first I was a little skeptical, but after I've seen what they do here, I'm amazed at how well they teach to young kids especially.
Within about 6 to 8 weeks, the lessons are paying off.
I was a few feet away and he rolled on his back and was very calm, and I ran over there and picked him out of the pool and he was fine.
Now, Liz Walker is the first to emphasize that just because your child has been taught these skills, you don't have license to just let them play around the water without close, vigilant adult supervision. Coming up at 9:45, what happens when we get a little too comfortable with our kids around the water, using a near-tragic example from my own family.
Live from Salt Lake City, Utah, this is Fox 13 News at 9.
Swimming lessons are a great way to teach children how to be safe and have fun in the water. There's a certain comfort level around the water that comes when your children know how to swim. But for my sister and her family, that comfort level almost had tragic consequences.
I don't remember much about the day. I do remember the helicopter. I don't remember thinking that a pool was dangerous.
My sister and her family were staying with friends in Arizona who had a backyard pool with no fence around it.
Yeah, it was more of a peanut shape. It was like a kidney-shaped pool.
The older children had taken swimming lessons, but somehow 3-year-old Kelly just hadn't yet.
You know, we didn't think it would be a problem for her because her personality was, she was cautious anyway.
My neighbor has a swimming pool. That sounds like fun. Well, my neighbor has a gun at their house. Well, I should be afraid. Well, really, the pool has huge consequences if you don't know how to swim.
And that's what Liz Walker's Swim Kids is all about, even for the very youngest.
We don't want them to think it's a playground. Oh, I can just walk in whenever and I'll be okay. And that's why we do teach submersion right away, because if you never teach that part, you just play around above the water, they don't realize that a parent is holding them and, oh, I'm going to be okay whether they're here or not.
And on that Sunday afternoon 12 years ago, dinner was being cleaned up. All alone, Kelly wandered through the garage and into the backyard.
The owner of the home, the people we were visiting, opened the sliding glass door and stepped through the threshold of the door, and that's when he could see the full view of the pool. And that's when he saw her floating in the pool, and he jumped in his Sunday clothes.
He yelled to his wife to call 911. Everyone poured into the backyard.
I don't want to step into this next moment. I don't want to know, if she's gone, my life has changed forever from this point on.
A paramedic across the street was summoned as they got Kelly out of the water.
Our friends started to perform rescue breathing on her. And at the same time, I'm talking to Kelly, you need to open your eyes now. You're out of the pool and Mommy's here, and, open your eyes, honey, breathe, take a breath. And she opened her eyes, and her pupils were completely dilated. It looked like she was looking at me. I don't think she saw anything.
Despite being submerged for an estimated 2 to 3 minutes, tests at the hospital determined no brain damage.
You almost feel guilty grateful, because there's so many that have stories that don't end like this.
I am very grateful to have my life. I have accomplished a lot in my life.
I have parents call me on a regular basis and say, this is what happened, and I'm so glad they took your course.
What Liz Walker offers children is something Kelly did not have, nor do the hundreds of children who drown each year, and the thousands who suffer neurological damage from near drowning. And for Liz, it's a huge challenge that she cherishes.
Because every time a little one comes through the door and it's a new experience and a new opportunity, it's really worth it.
Again, we are coming into the swimming season in Utah, and even with this type of training, there is no substitute for vigilant adult supervision. If you'd like to look into water safety training for your children who are 6 months old and older, log on to our website, myfoxutah.com.